right before I was about to start watching, people were just like, "Oh, it sucks." It was Tokyo Revengers, and then there's another anime. What anime do you think it is? I think we might talk about it on podcast before.
Give me a hint.
Robots.
Robots? We just had an episode where I didn't watch any robots.
Oh, but it was a big robot show that everybody's talking about.
You're not talking about Darling in the Franxx, are you?
Darling and the Franxx. Everybody, when Darling and the Franxx dropped, told me how great it was, and I was kind of just like not watching it.
Everybody said the whole thing was great except the last episode.
Yeah, like all I saw of Darling and Franxx was like, oh, they piloted the robots with the girls' butts, and I was like, what? And I was just like, all right, whatever. I'll get to it whenever. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boys, and we are back with the 51st episode of the DNAnime podcast. It's your boy Crow and the co-host Vic Seal, and we're back. I can't believe it. 51 episodes of the podcast, almost 52, which would be a whole year, not counting for natural disasters and everything like that. It'll be a whole year of us talking about anime. Isn't it a glorious day?
It's wonderful, amazing, so much anime. I can't believe we've had this much anime to talk about, and it's only been getting better. Our anime has started off at the beginning was just standard, the okayest, Osan, and whatever, but now we got stuff like Frieren and Solo Leveling. Speaking of Frieren, real quick, I want to talk about some of the things that people have been talking about on TikTok for Frieren. Some people trying to make a claim that Solo Leveling is better than Frieren because, like, one of the most outrageous things I ever heard was somebody called Frieren racist. And I was like,
okay.
I was like, what?
Can I? Are we gonna get controversial already?
Start off. This is how we get the hook.
True. All right, I'm gonna say it right now. Solo Leveling is a better animated Frieren. Clip it, ship it. No, I'm joking.
I was like waiting for the just kidding. I say psych right now.
I'm playing. So okay. I'm gonna say a couple of things, but I want you guys to stick with me really quickly. I want you guys to hold out and hold. So I've seen the TikToks of people saying that Solo Leveling is better than Frieren, but like most things in the anime community, is said by idiots. Solo Leveling is great. It's a lot of fun, but it's a popcorn anime. It has really great fights. Really cool, interesting world. It's a good time like watching Solo Leveling. But there is no character depth. And the arguments that I've seen online make literally no sense. No sense whatsoever to say that Frieren, a show that has amazing characters, a beautiful world, fantastic 10 out of 10 animation, and a lot of character growth in a short, 28 episode time frame, to say that Solo Leveling is better just because it's hyper. Like, when I see people say that Solo Leveling is better than Frieren just because it has like these really hype moments and really cool fights,
you're literally telling me that when I hear that
you
people
have
say
the
Solo Leveling,
skills of a toddler.
People the people who said that Solo Leveling, first of all, even has better animation than Frieren is already ridiculous because they clearly didn't see Frieren versus Frieren. That shit was wild. That blew my mind for like how gentle the show was in that one fight. Everything was like there was a black hole on screen. Come on, you think Bugman gonna beat that out? Nah, it was epic.
The thing is, I love Solo Leveling. There was
depth to that fight too. Like there was, you felt like Frieren's past in that fight. You could feel Fern's growth in that fight. You could see what it was like for like the peak of magic in that show. It was so much more than just I laid the smackdown on some dude. It was way better than that. There's just no way. Like you said, Solo Leveling was fun, but there's no world in which Solo Leveling was better than Frieren. Even the one thing that went for it was that it's fights. And I think Frieren's fights were still better. Frieren's fights had so much meaning to them than Sun Jin-woo got another shadow. Like
again, I love Solo Leveling. I read the entirety of the manhwa. I really, really enjoy the show as well. But there's no world where that's true. Like it feels like people are purposely being obtuse or purposely like just waiting for clicks. You know what I mean? Like, and I know a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. Say like
butt cheeks came out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? People will say this inflammatory stuff to get people talking, get likes, get Discord happening, get they Twitter, whatever. And I get it, but if we can be real for a second, if we can be honest and truthful with ourselves, there's absolutely no world where Furin is worse than solo leveling. You can like it more. Again, everybody's allowed to have an opinion. You can like solo leveling more than Furin, but objectively,
you gotta recognize. You gotta take your L's in stride. Come on.
Because nobody's saying that solo leveling is a generational anime. People were saying that and singing Frierin's praises like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Again,
yeah, Frieren is literally the once in a generation anime. It is the so far the only one that I've seen that stands up with Full Metal Alchemist. This is the only one that handles its topics so like beautifully and carefully and gently and adds so much depth into like really unique topics. It's in that league with Full Metal where it just deserves to be up there. And it's like, how often are you going to see that? Almost never. I didn't even think we were going to get a second one, let alone like the first one that we got was amazing. There was no world I thought we were going to get a second one. I knew that Frieren was going to be good, but I didn't know it was going to be this good. And that's kind of like the thing. It's like you have to recognize when something is good, even if you don't like it. Because I don't know, maybe it's like a slow burn or something, and like I don't know, maybe you're a goldfish or whatever. But like you have to recognize that there's depth to it that solo leveling just doesn't have. But like some of the claims were just like, I don't. They were just like you said, they're just making shit up. When they said that Frieren was racist, I was like,
okay.
I was like, I need you to explain this. So I looked at it, and it was like, yeah, because she immediately went after demons, and I was like, yes. That's fine. Like they literally exist for the sole purpose of deceiving people and then killing them. Of course she's gonna go for them.
A lot of people, I'm not gonna go into this heavily, but a lot of people are tying Frierin's mindset against demons to their own insane personal thoughts, and I think that just speaks more towards the person than the show.
Yeah,
a lot of people are being like, "Oh, it didn't like," because it's like. I saw a lot of people online on Twitter discourse, TikTok discourse, be like, Frieren, the anime, and it's like, oh, it's this beautiful story, amazing anime, everybody loves it. Frieren, the fan base, and it's just like, you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
We've been over this like 100 times over the podcast. We don't interact with the fan base. The fandom, they always do the crazy stuff. They always say stupid things. They're always like just pulling shit out their asses. It's just I don't know why they go through so much trouble to like try to ruin something. It's like it's okay that you don't have the greatest anime in the history of ever. It's okay. That's not gonna happen very often.
Yeah.
You can take this one. It's unfortunate that you don't get anime of the year because it did come out right now. But hey, man, let it happen. It's fine. It's not like your anime is disappearing because the other one is better. It's fine.
Like, okay. Because I mean, I'm older now. I used to be young, I used to love anime, and just like everybody else, anime was a huge part, and I would argue to the cows when somebody didn't like a show. That like, you ain't like Dragon Ball, you ain't like Naruto, you ain't like Bleach, and fight people. But I grew up. I'm not 12 anymore. You know what I mean? I grew up, and I feel like that same
12-year-olds that are still remaining, the new generation of anime. That was us back then.
Yeah. So it's just like I still see like grown adults, with crow's feet in their eyes and like gray hairs, sitting there be like, solo level's way better.
Do you mean
Look
you
at all
don't like
these
Sergeant Frog?
Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, come on, like grow up. Like if it's like you can't tie your personal worth to this stuff. And I feel like a lot of people do. They're like, oh, if you're not watching Daima, then you're not a real Dragon Ball fan. Daima's so great. Oh, you better not change up when something cool happens. And I was like, dude, just watch the show. If somebody doesn't like something that you like, why do you care? And again, this is the personal thing with me. You guys want to know a little look into Crow's mindset. Care about other people's opinion. If I like something, I like it, and I watch it and I enjoy it, and I will not let other people's opinions about stuff tarnish something that I enjoy. If you don't like it, cool. You let me know. That's awesome. But I'm just going to tell you, like, yo, shut up. I don't want to keep hearing you shit on something that I enjoy. You can enjoy solo leveling. If people do not enjoy it, that is fine. If people don't like Frieren, that is fine. I think that people who say solo leveling is better than Frieren is objectively wrong. I think Frieren is, again, like we said, a generational a generational and amazing anime. You know what I mean? Like it's so good. And Solo Leveling is a lot of fun. If you like action, if you like I mean, that's pretty much it. If you like action and really cool moments and hype moments, it's Solo Leveling.
Like
but
aura
Solo
farming, you'll like
alters,
Solo Leveling, but there's more to anime writing than aura farming.
Because like I can look at Solo Leveling and critique it and point out obvious flaws that I've talked about in the past. The fact that the only character that matters is Sun Jin Woo and nobody else really and truly gets any character depth unless they're directly
3 characters that aren't a shadow.
Yeah. So Sun Jin Woo, and then you got
Guildmaster Bach, I think his name is.
Yeah, you got
and
Bach.
then we got the ultimate weapon dude, Shahe, I think is her name.
Yeah.
To be completely fair, we as anime watchers are used to Japanese names, and then they throw Chinese names in, and now we have to learn a whole different cadence for their names. It is a little bit more difficult to remember them, but they also didn't put any emphasis on any character that wasn't Sun Jin Woo, because we remember Sun Jin Woo just fine. So...
Yeah. And just to say, my point out, Korean, not Chinese. Korean.
Oh yeah, my bad. Korean.
But yes, like again, I love Solo Leveling, but like my biggest thing is that like Sun Jin Woo is just the only character that matters, and every other character is a measuring stick for his power. If they were a C level, B level, you know, what do you call them, hunter or whatever, like they're just there to be a measuring stick. So when he fights something, he's like, I guess I'm B level now. Or if he fights an opponent that's another hunter, he'll be like, oh, I could beat them. That means I must be A rank now. Like that's all they're there for. They're measuring sticks. So they start showing other characters that are like, oh, these are S ranks. Sun Jin Woo is fighting things that S ranks can't beat. They're just like, oh, he's even stronger than the S rank. Well, he's as strong as S rank. And then they show another level of power, and then he does a thing, and it's like, oh, he's even greater than this guy. Like that's all it is. It's just Sun Jin Woo just showing how he's better than everybody else, and that's fine. He's the main character, obviously. Like if you watch Star Wars, Luke's the ultimate Jedi. If you're watching Dragon Ball Z, Goku's the guy that saves the day. Superman will beat the bad guy in the end. Like it's fine for the main character to be the guy that the story focuses on. But there's literally. And Solo Leveling is fantastic, but there's no real growth. Like Mr. or whatever. Yeah, that's it. Like Mr. Sung, the dude who was like kind of being like Sun Jin Woo's mentor, and they went to the first like double dungeon with at the beginning of the show. Just kind of shows up and he's just like, hey, son,
he shows
strong
up
now.
Getting rocked.
Yeah.
He's never even winning it when he shows up.
Yeah.
At least give him like the benefit of the doubt. Like he was not like some schlop on the side of the street. He was like,
he was C or B rank, right? And he was like the leader of the first mission.
I haven't seen him win a single fight.
Yeah, he lost his arm, and then they were like, all right, he's going to go back to this school, and he's going to like, you know, start training the sword again. And it doesn't go anywhere, you know? And then like the healer girl, I forget her name.
I thought she retired, and we keep seeing her like in combat, and I was like, wait. Did I miss something? I feel like I missed something. I missed her return.
They skipped so much stuff because like in the manhwa, she retires because she's like, I'm so traumatized. And I was like, she's a B rank healer. Like, she's a really good healer. So I was hoping that she was going to come back. I thought she might be a love interest for Sun Jin Woo. It'll be great. And then she was just like, I'm retiring. And then she was like, I'm going to go work with my family on their bakery or whatever. And she's just kind of like going. And she comes back there in the manhwa, and that's about it. So it's just like, you have all these characters. You have this cool world with these cool abilities. But Sun Jin Woo's ass cheek get more screen time than most of these other characters. Like, straight up. And that's fine. So, like Solo Leveling is a very, very fun ride. It's a very fun ride. It's a good time. Sun Jin Woo's power set is really cool. I love the shadows. I love everything like that. But it's literally just watching this man get stronger and beat. That's it. Like if you haven't like with the first 2 seasons of Solo Leveling, the anime is done, is out. I'm sure most of you guys have watched it. Does he struggle at all? The only time that like Sun Jin Woo struggles is when he says in his head, "Oh man, this guy's really strong," and then proceeds to no diff the guy. You know what I mean? He's
like yeah, he's really strong. It's like, yeah, but you didn't use 400 of your shoulders yet, so
yeah. And then
is he really?
He just stunts on a guy and it beats him, which is cool. It's undoubtedly cool, and you can enjoy that. I enjoy it. I'm a shonen meathead. But there's no depth there. They're literally taking, like, there's more depth in the manga. They're taking out, like, human moments with Sun Jin Woo in the anime, which kind of sucks.
I can't have those. He cried one time, and everybody lost their shit.
And everybody fucking threw a temper tantrum and be like, no, my goat would never cry for his mama. And it's Let this man be happy. Let him have this reunion. Let there be something. Like there needs to be these moments of like emotion and depth and substance so that the other stuff means something. But seeing that reaction from him helping his mother and him getting emotional after not being able to speak with her or be with her for years and seeing how the fan base reacts, no, I'm not surprised that they're having this argument online because they're literal baby brained idiots. I'll just say that. If that's all you want for your anime, yeah, like, I'm just being real. I'm just being real. If you look at somebody, a character,
fight with us in the comments, please.
Like if you look at Sunwoo's journey from season 1 to season 2, and everything that he's been through, fighting, almost dying, having to take the life of other human beings, everything like that, in the pursuit of taking care of his family and his mom, and then he achieves that goal, and he just stared at his mom blankly, that wouldn't be a good moment. He's like, yeah, I did
he's sitting there like, nice. And then he just gets up and leaves.
All right. And then like the wind's blowing, his hair's blowing, his butt cheeks all out. And he's just like,
get flapping in the wind.
And that just plays. And his mom is just like waking up from a coma. And I'm just like, this is stupid. Like it should matter when these things happen so that the fights mean more. Like, you know what he's working towards and what he's doing. Know what I mean? And I feel like them taking out a lot of those moments in the show is kind of taken away from Sun Jin-woo as a character because he has funny moments, he has human moments, he has times when he doubts himself, he has times where he's second guessing himself. But they just like, nah, man, he's the coolest guy that ever guide, and that's fine. But I feel like you're just missing so much, man. And to again, and those are my personal feelings of Solo Leveling. But when I look at Frieren, I'm just like, no, it's a 10 out of 10. I can't really look at anything and be like, oh, this character, the way they acted in this moment, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, this emotional moment where she made the flowers at Himmel's, statue or whatever, no.
Every time you try to pick something apart in Frieren, they're like, actually, this is actually one of the most deep moments in the series. And then they just go on this like really long lore explanation on how, like, even when they did the flashback for when Frieren got the ring from Himmel, even the background was important and symbolic. They did so much more for Frieren in every single moment than I could even understand. I'll hear something off the wall and I'll be like, that's like totally random, and it has like this incredibly deep symbolic meaning, and I didn't even know it. It just feels good all the time. Like, you watch Solo Leveling because it's fun, but you watch Frieren because it feels good. It's deep. You learn something. You kind of like experience something unique with Frieren. More like with Solo Leveling, you just kind of sitting there, like you said, you just sitting there eating popcorn. It's fun. You're having a good old joyride. But with Frieren, you feel like you're with her, on the ride, and you can feel every time that Frieren like has a revolution, every time that she learns something new, whenever she forms a new bond. The most recent one was the flashback the most recent one that I saw was the flashback that Frieren had about Mama, who was like purposefully putting distance between her and Frieren, and I didn't even notice that really. I was like, yeah, they're master and students, so like that makes sense to me. But then it also relates to how Frieren reacts with Fern, being that she's closing that distance as she learns the human emotions that Himmel has taught for the duration of their journey. And then there's also things like, what also makes Frieren great is that these characters are not perfect, but they're flawed in like meaningful ways. Like, Himmel, for example, was portrayed as being like selfish in a way, but he was selfish in the way that he shared it with everybody so that everybody could have like a self-love as opposed to just being like a narcissist. And then there's Frieren, who's like detached, but she finds other ways to relate. There was what's his name, the priest guy who like was drunk and a womanizer all the time, and then he ended up being like the caretaker for Fern. Everybody had such like growth throughout their journey that they let you see. They had
depth. They felt like real people. They didn't feel just like the vessel that the story's being told through.
I'm gonna describe a person, and I want you to tell me this guy's name because I don't know this guy's name, but I love this dude. The guy outside the village who just sat there.
I was gonna bring him up.
I don't even know his name, and I love that guy.
I almost cried.
I cried for No Name McGee. I love that dude. I will fight for him.
That's the best. He's like, I'm here. I protect this village, and he's like so old.
He doesn't even remember why he's doing it. He just knows that he was doing it.
And he's just like, and Farron's just like, yes, it's because this is where your wife lived, and you want to protect the whole town. And he's just like, what?
And like, because he's a dwarf, he lived longer than everybody who's in the village, so nobody knows why he's there except for him.
Just protect.
He doesn't even remember the name or what his wife looked like. He just knew that it was his wife's home. And it was like, that's good enough for me. I'm here for you, buddy. Whatever you need, dude, you tell me.
That warmed the cockles of my heart. That was beautiful because when you start journey in that episode of them being in that village, just like, oh, I'm just there to see an old friend. And then Stark's just kind of like learning from him because he's like, oh, he's a legendary warrior guy. He's very strong. But he's just like this weird senile, old, like goofy character. And then you get his backstory. And you see like that everything in Fear feels like it's done with purpose. Every character feels like they've been living in that world legitimately. So when you get the backstory of how the village has changed, his reason for being, the character's realization of what's going on, it recontextualizes everything that you thought of when they first get there and makes it so beautiful. And it's amazing. And some people may not get that. Some people might not care. But that almost brought me to tears. And it's just a dwarf guy that sits on a stoop and just like, huh, who are you? You know what I mean? Like, he's just an old senile dude. And he almost brought me to tears, you know what I mean? And it's just like, and that's the beauty of Fearing, because it's like, in most shows, like say Solo Leveling, Thunder Jinwoo is on this battle to get stronger, to be able to take care of his family and get strong enough to make sure he can take care of everyone that he loves and everything like that, right? Where Fearing, the story is done. It's the journey or it's the beginning of Journey's End, or whatever the tagline for Fearing is, right? They beat the bad guy. They've done the big thing. Fearing's like one of the strongest mages, one of the strongest people on the planet. We're not watching him going to go like defeat Ganondorf or whatever, you know what I mean? We're literally just watching him do mundane stuff. And it's some of the best written, amazing storytelling with some of the like best fights, best animation, and like we said, the characters feel human, flaws and all. And it's just I didn't know what I was getting into with Fearing, and I don't know if I've ever experienced the story being told like this, of like what happens after the heroes beat the party, and just being this journey of rediscovery and kind of like realizing what you lost, as well as the story just being told from the perspective of someone who experiences time in a different way than what we would as human beings and the other human beings and other short-lived species in their world. 100 years for Fearing is like 5. She's over 1,000 years old. So that 10 years that she spent with the heroes party, that happens all before the story is told, was nothing to her. But she's realizing how those moments, those experiences, that time that they shared that she thought was inconsequential, meant so much and changed her so much. 10 years, a decade of 1,000 years. How does that change someone who has been stagnant for so long? It's beautiful. It's literally a fucking masterpiece. And we've given you guys little crumbs, little taste. But if you guys have not watched Fearing, you're doing yourself a disservice. I get it. Anime, yes, anime fandoms want to power level and scale and whatever all the time. There is in no way there's no way that Solo Leveling is better than Fearing. Solo Leveling is good, and I really enjoy it, and you can have fun.
The thing with Solo Leveling is like it's been done. Like this isn't new, right?
Yeah.
Like so Solo Leveling, like we've all been there. We like watching them like no diff on their opponents. It's fun, but it's like you've seen it before. Fearing is unique. It is unique in a world where nothing is unique, and it's so good that it's such a breath of fresh air. We've we've seen the story go through. Everything feels like a cop out of like another show that we've already seen. Every show is this plus this had a baby, but Frieren is literally brand new. I can't think of anything else like it. Even the other masterpiece of Full Metal is still, it is a different world. Like everything that has come so far has been like just like a cheap imitation of what Full Metal had managed to accomplish. And now Frieren has its own like version of like in like a family tree. Full Metal branched all the way down to create all these other types of like shonen versions. Now Frieren is like what happened after all those finished. Now it can have its own branches. So it is like it's like the beginning of its own masterpiece series. It can't even be defined as slice of life or like a shonen, even though that's kind of like what it's based off of. It is unique in the most pure sense. There is nothing else I can think of that's even remotely close to how like masterful the storytelling, the characters, the depth was for Frieren. So definitely, if you haven't already, watch Frieren. Watch Frieren.
100%.
Fuck everything else. Watch Frieren.
1,000%. It's beautiful, man.
It'll bring a tear to your eyes, but it is at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it is going to be a slow burn. If you are only showing up for the fights, the combat, you just want to see somebody get no diffed, put it on hold until you like in the mood for something a little softer, a little bit deeper.
Yeah, because that's the thing is that Frieren has fights. Like there's fights in Frieren, but that's not what the show's about. Like not at all.
There's like
it's about the experience. Man.
Actually, there's probably a sizable number of fights, but now that I'm thinking about it, but it's like none of them. Weirdly enough, I don't care about any of them because the rest of the world is so good. Like I
only care about the low tier god one, the low tier god fight with Aura. Like that's some aura farming.
That wasn't even a fight though. That was not even a fight.
Oh, but it's so good.
It was a confrontation at best.
That was an aura farming moment.
Every single fight has meaning. The first fight that we really get to see is Stark versus the dragon, and that had so much meaning. That was the first part where I was like, you get to see the true animation for what they have bestowed upon Frieren. I saw Stark's like cloak flap in the wind, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so it's that level right now." And the meaning behind that was hidden to me at first, and then like as the story progressed, it was like everything feels good in the moment, and then they explain why it feels good, and then it just amps everything else up every single time. Nothing happens. She pulled out a fucking one ring, and that ring is like making my soul cry. Melting the ice around my heart. It's so good. Everything, like you said, with purpose. It is all so good. I don't think there's any moment in the show where they don't do something with purpose, where they just like fuck off and they're like, oh yeah, this is unnecessary. Actually, some of if you think about it, kind of everything is unnecessary, but that's kind of what makes it so whimsical. Like,
dude, Frieren feels like the Seinfeld of anime, where it's like it's a show about nothing, but it's like a fantastic show because it's just them like walking and going on this journey. But it's a
show
journey.
About everything but nothing.
I know it's so.
It's magical nothing. The magical Leo Plerodon.
But yeah, Frieren's the GOAT, man. And I get it. Like, people just want to be sensationalized. And I'm being a little hyperbolic myself. You're not a baby brain idiot for liking Solo Leveling. I don't mean that. But I just feel like a lot of people don't speak honestly. And I get it. Like, you know, you got to get your clicks. You got to get your views and everything like that. But can we be for real? It's kind of like my whole discussion before. It's like, oh, yeah, people like recommend me anime. It's like, oh, Goblin Slayer. Watch Goblin Slayer. First episode of Goblin Slayer. It's like, we should be better. As anime fans, we should be better. Like, come on, like, be honest, because people ain't gonna take you seriously if you're like, man, Solo Leveling's 10 times better than Frieren. It's like people got eyes.
You're a liar.
You know what I mean? Like, stop. Be for real for a second. But yes, I've also seen that. But Frieren's the GOAT. It gets the fucking DNAnime podcast seal of approval.
Approved.
Go watch it. Yeah, approved.
But there was more than just Frieren. Like, obviously, if I'm gonna be so confused if it doesn't win Anime of the Year. However, there was another one that came up that
I was going to say, I was like,
I will
what
say.
would win it?
Well, I mean, there was 6 other anime, but this one was actually not on the list. The what is it? Super Cube. Have you heard about Super Cube?
Ooh.
I got to watch the first 2 episodes of Super Cube.
Okay.
It is fucking solo leveling, dude. It is like solo leveling on steroids. Like, it is just like a fun watch. I'm 2 episodes in. Not jack shit has happened. Like, dude, like, had a fight. I don't understand why he's fighting these people, but he just like laid the smackdown on some people. He found a magic cube and now he's OP. I was like, okay, so animation's clean. I don't know any of these people's names. They didn't make a point on any of them. Like, there's main guy, chick, and bully. That's it. That's all I know. Even the fucking magic cube called one of the enemies Baldy. That's all I know.
Okay, so Super Cube is like one of the anime that people have been really talking about this season, right? I haven't watched any of it, but I've seen like some fights. I've seen like random like clips.
Yeah, the fight in episode 7 is what made me just be like, all right, I'll go to fucking Daily Motion. All right,
dude, when he yo-yoed that dude, I was like, what is going on? Like, that looked amazing. Like, all the hand-to-hand combat stuff looked so sick. So, I was like, oh, I gotta put this on my list. And then, okay, well, I'll let you talk, and then I want to bring up something controversial that I heard about.
Okay, so the whole premise behind Super Cube was basically like the dude finds this like sentient power cube, and he can feed this cube gems to increase his power, and his power is scaling with how he learns how to use it, and then with the number of gems that he has. That's like, it's basically this secondary version of the system from Solo Leveling. So like, and it functions like essentially the same way, where it is just like fight dude, get stronger, level up, fight stronger dude, get stronger, level up. There was so far no depth. It is all hands all the time. That is it.
Yeah, and I'm excited because the animation looks incredible.
But yeah, the animation is super clean. So like, if you are down for like another fucking beat down, then you got it. That's what you're gonna get with Super Cube so far. 2 episodes in, all I've seen is the smackdown. They have nonstop been trying to aura farm off of each other, and the funniest thing though is this is why I slipped up and said Solo Leveling was Chinese earlier, because this is actually Chinese. This was actually Chinese animation. I cannot pronounce any of their names. I don't know. I didn't learn them enough to begin with. I don't know how to pronounce any of them. The way that they say them is not how it is subtitled. So I'm like, I don't know how these pronunciations work. This must be what it's like for a new anime fan, where they're just like, I can't understand what they're saying. So I'm like Sharingan eyes watching the subtitles and like watching the fight again. Like, this is back to the beginning for me. It was like all brand new. I can't understand anything because I have seen enough anime that I can skimp on some of the subtitles because I've heard some words enough times that I just kind of know what the general meaning is. That don't work in Chinese. That doesn't work in Chinese anymore. I'm starting fresh. I don't know what anything they fucking said was.
Yeah, all I know is Bing chilling. That's it.
They got hands. They got hands and squares. That's what they got. That's all I know.
Dude, okay, so it was funny because I saw the anime was called Super Cube, and then I saw like a fight scene, and then like when walls break in anime, they turn into cubes. And I was like, is that what it's about? Like how all the
in episode 7, that fight when he gets blasted through the wall turns into cubes. Yeah. I had to check to make sure it wasn't Studio Bones animating that.
I was so confused. I was like, okay, I guess this is what the show's about. I haven't really looked into it too much, but it looks super duper sick. And I know we talked about the whole
It's just going to be a fun watch. It's going to be just like Solo Leveling, where you just watch people lay the smackdown on each other. The reasoning they got so far was dumb, and I was like, I hope that this changes, because it was like episode 1, right at the beginning, they're doing like truth or dare or whatever. This girl admits that she likes the main character, and then he just gets his fucking ass beat by her stalker. And then they like nearly kill him, and that's how he ends up with the cube. And I was like, I hope that he ends up fighting people for a better reason than she liked him. Not even that he liked her. She liked him. So they beat the fuck out of him. So
Damn.
I hope that changes up a little bit. Otherwise, gonna get a little. Well, I mean, I won't say it'll get a little stale, but kind of let down. The way that it was like hyped up, I was expecting it to be like super deep and everything, but it was like, nah, it's beat down number 3. Nice.
I mean, that could be cool. Again, I love some action. I love some good fights. The animation looks super duper clean, super duper sick. The fights and the punches seem like they have weight to it. It looks really awesome. So I'm excited to start. But the controversy that I heard from Super Q wasn't about the plot not going nowhere. It was about the English dub.
You know, I was actually trying to see if there was an English dub because I was struggling to keep up a little bit because like I would get stuck on the names. Like they would subtitle the name and I'm trying to like sound the name out, and then when they say it in Chinese, I'm like, that is not what that subtitle said. So I kept getting stuck on it. So I was like, maybe I should just try the dub to see how good that is. And I didn't see it on Daily Motion. I didn't see it. It might be there, but I didn't see it.
So apparently I don't know if it was like the English dub is out, but it was a clip that I saw circulating around. I didn't listen to it because I think I saw it like right before I was getting ready to go live. But some people were just like, "Oh my god, this dub is so bad. It sounds AI, like generated." And I was just like, "Wait a minute, wait, did they use AI voice acting?"
Let me take a look at this.
So I want to do so. Again, the census, the information is still out. I haven't listened to it just yet, but I want to check it out to see. Now I don't know, since it is I guess a Chinese animation. I don't know if it's being done because some people were saying that it's somebody that's not a native English speaker, so it just sounds a little stiff. But I want to look into it to see how the English dub actually is. I am a connoisseur of terrible dubs. I love me a good old fashioned bad dub because I think it's hilarious. But at the same time, if a show, this show got a little hype behind it, a lot of people talk about Super. So I want to check it out and kind of like see how the dub is, and if they are using AI or if it's just not the best dub. Or
if I can find native. The dub, and I'll watch an episode in it and see what they come up with.
Yeah, but I just saw like it was episode 7 fight, and then people talking about the dub. So I was just like, the fight looked cool though, but I didn't know that it was in, I don't know, Chinese or Mandarin. I'm not sure how they dubbed it with the sub.
Yeah, I'm not sure which like dialect it would be in. I don't know.
I
do not speak many languages. I speak 0.75, so.
This is America. But yeah, so I'm excited. Super Cube looks really, really sick. We got a lot of good like anime this season.
At the very least, the animation for things have been stepping their game up. So like, even if their story is not great, they're always just like a fun watch. Yeah. I haven't seen too many this season that have just been like below the bar. Just the one that shall not be named, which, by the way, that petition is out there. The petition's out there for redoing the slideshow after the end.
This is like the Ouroboros, because the podcast is going to be eating itself, but I saw the thumbnail for the most recent episode, and I was like, that was a thing.
You didn't know the petition like, existed? Yeah.
Just ended. Like, seeing it just made it more real for me, and I'm just like, oh, Lord. Like, how bad you got to be with the fans to just please, just put it down, just kill it.
At least the creator actually came out and talked about what happened. So like we have a general idea that, for lack of a better term, and there's more to this story than just this, but dude just didn't do his research. Like he was just like the studio told him that he could have creative freedom over it, and then he was like, all right, bet, and then they just showed him the PowerPoint. He was like sick, and then they thought that meant go live, so they just put the PowerPoint up on whatever
on Crunchyroll. Let's go.
Yeah, so, but I mean, there are other things like Windbreaker still out there. Windbreaker had their first episode of the season that wasn't just combat, and it was still good. It was, I mean, it's just fun, but it's like a different kind of fun. They're just like you can kind of see Sakura's growth a little bit more. He's frustrated with himself, how he behaved. You get to see whatever his name is, Umemiya, I think his name is, like head honcho. You get to see him, like why he's at the top again. So he like really just kind of he sees the two like rookies that were like the original cause of the fight. And instead of like berating them for doing something personal, he was just like, that's what we're here for. Like exactly that. Like you had you had a personal tie to this or keeping somebody safe, and we are here to help you like take care of that. And the growth that Sakura had is incomplete so far, to say the least. Like, he's still frustrated at himself, but he's helping. Umim is kind of like helping him see the way without telling him, which I think is a better way to teach somebody. Is like kind of let them figure it out on their own, but like let them know that the conclusions that they're reaching is right or wrong. Then I think that's a better way for them, because then they can just think about it as they go, because you won't always be there, right? So like you have to be able to think about this on your own, and I think that they're doing a good job for that. So they have a reasonable amount of death. There's no Frieren, but I mean, like, it's an acceptable level of death in a beat 'em up anime. Like, even this is more than I expected. Windbreaker continuing to go above and beyond in its story and the fights.
Windbreaker is so sick, man. Like, it's, again, I'm a big shonen guy. I love fights. It's so, like, I'm down to normally watch anything that has fighting in it, like that's action based. Like, I'm always down, right? But when Windbreaker came out, I didn't have any expectations. It was kind of just like an unknown. I had never seen anything about the manga. I never heard anybody talk about it. I literally just saw the poster, and I was like, that looks really good. Like, the poster looked really good, but I was like, that's not really a tale of how good the animation's going to be.
Yeah.
And then I watched the first episode, and I'm just like, it's kind of like standard. It was like, oh, the new kid going to a new school or whatever. And I was like, all right, we'll watch it. You'd be like a high school delinquent guy. And I just thought it would be like, kind of the ilk of like a Tenjo Tenjei or a Sekirei or something like that, right? Like, new kid, go to school, learns all about fighting, try to fight his way up the rank. But having that depth of character, like you said, which I actually really like, and I feel like that really hits the nail on the head, they're trying to teach Sakura how to be a better person and how to get over his trauma of always being looked at as like this trouble child, this problem that people can't deal with, can't interact with because of his multicolored hair, because of his eyes. It's a nice anagram for other people who just feel like ostracized from society. Because of his heterochromia and his two-tone hair, people always looked at him as like, oh, this dude.
I don't know about you. I love heterochromia. Every time I get to do that in customer or in character creation in video games, I always give my character heterochromia. I think that's cool as shit.
Cool, dude. Cool. Like, the people who have that, it just is cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, yeah, it's a good conversation started. Like, oh my God, my eyes, two different colors. Ooh, special. No Sharingan, but it's something, I guess.
And then at the same time, it's like, why you bully me?
Yeah. So then, like, seeing characters like the head guy of the battle school, Oshigawa, whatever his name is, but Oshiwagi, whatever his name is, I don't remember nobody's name, but seeing him try to teach him, as well as the girl that he has a crush on, or like sees his younger sister. I don't remember the relationship. Like, it makes no sense. But the girl who runs like the restaurant,
coffee
she, like,
shop,
cooks the food for everybody.
barista lady.
Yeah. Like,
she's awesome.
I love the fact that she's like,
she hasn't been back yet this season.
Really?
I don't think so. If she has, she's only there momentarily. But I don't remember seeing her yet. But to be fair, season 2 started in the middle of a fight, so
typical Windbreakers. But yeah, I'm excited because she also does that as well. And it's like everybody is there. They can see the weaknesses in Sakurai. Like he's strong, he can fight, good fighter, but they can see the little character flaws and things that he's struggling to get over. Like having genuine relationships with his friends, speaking to people, being a little antisocial and figuring out how to navigate certain situations that he would normally use fists to navigate. Like, seeing her really help open him up. I don't know, man. It kind of spoke to me.
It was just kind of caught me off guard at the beginning.
Yeah,
because it was like not what I went in. Like, I went in thinking it was going to be like Tokyo Revengers, where it was just gang wars, and then she's over here like spitting spiritual progression, and you're like, wait, that's not what happened?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be just dudes fighting. I thought it was gonna be awesome, but yeah, like seeing those moments have been so wholesome and nice, especially coming from somebody like me, and I'm sure you as well. We're a little antisocial, having people that are a little more extroverted, they can help you get out your shell. It's nice, and seeing them do that for Sakura is really good, especially like. So the restaurant shop girl, the leader of the school, and then the little dork dude who like keeps a little notebook on everybody. I forget his name as well. But him just being like, yeah, me and Sakura, we best friends. And he's always like his right hand man, essentially. Like I love all the characters in their relationships. It's like a fun little like family tree of how like the people with the different personalities,
they kind of
their relationship with each other.
They kind of hinted at a little extra in like episode 2 or something, episode 2 or episode 3. Suo, the Chinese martial artist dude, he had a moment that was like, are you like a master of the dark arts, or like what are you doing? Like he walked up with so much like darkness surrounding him. I thought he was about to start fighting. After the fight was over, I was like, what are you doing? What's going on here? And then he just snapped back to reality and went back to being goofy go lucky. And I was like, huh, no, I saw that. I saw that. What was that?
There has to be something up with him because he hasn't done much. He's just kind of like the cool, goofy, laid-back dude with an eye patch for some reason. And all of his fights have been short. He just kind of like is just really talented. But it's like nobody hypes him up as like, oh, he's like the best guy ever. Like he's up there, obviously. Like people know him, like one of the upper guys. But he's not like, he doesn't shine. You know what I mean? He's kind of just there, like when he's protecting the girl. He's like, hey, I'm gonna be here.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna get past me.
He's always just like, okay, this zone right here, this zone is safe. And I will stand here and make sure that it is safe.
Yeah, and I'm just like, there's something more to him. You know what I mean? And hearing that you say, like, oh, in episode 2 or whatever, he has like this moment, I can't wait, because whenever we get his backstory or whenever we get like his deal, I feel like it's gonna be like so good. I just hope he don't be like, I'm a bad guy or something. I don't think they would do that.
He ends up just being like the biggest weeb, and he's just like, yeah, I put this eye patch over to contain my power.
Oh my god, he hits you with the Kenpachi. He's like, I need this to keep my power level lower, so that the other people have a chance. So I was like, all right, I put the bells in my ear so they can hear me. Anyway,
damn, you was cool Kenpachi all the way up till right now.
No. It's got to be something cool. It's got to be something cool. He has like my favorite like martial art style. Like I like the Chinese martial arts, like Wing Chun and stuff like that. Like I think that's very, very interesting. Whereas like Sakura, he's like a brawler. The one caveman dude is also kind of just like a heavy hitter brawler or whatever.
I like the main guy from the first season, the main enemy dude. I like his style where he was just like really fast and he just did like a lot of misdirection with his stuff. It was cool all the way up until he started doing no damage, and I was like, yeah, damn, yeah, I get it. That always happens.
Get it?
You just come up to somebody who's like, yeah, I've trained my entire life to be a brick wall. And then you're like, oh, well, so much for that. I can run around you all I want. But if you just stand there, then like you win.
And even that, like his whole story, like his right hand man, and his right hand man kind of just like, I'll go to the depths of hell for you. And he like turned his whole personality. Oh, dude, I love that story. That like that breakdown of like their relationship, how they got to where they were with their gang in the city, how like dark and messed up it got because they were trying to like take care of each other. And I gotta be stronger for you, and I gotta do this to keep you from like being too dark and let the boys keep respecting you. It was so like, again, it's so stupid, it's so machismo, it's so like just man, but it was so beautiful.
So
like,
much testosterone in it.
Yeah, like it's one of the reasons why I love the Yakuza series, right? Because it's like, you think of Yakuza, like, oh, these are Japanese gang members. And in the Yakuza games, you're Kazuma Kiryu, the ultimate man, the dragon of Komorocho. And you're just like this giant dude who just like beats up everybody in the streets and people are scared of you. And you got this, dragon tattoo on your back. But then you have like these moments where like, Kiryu would have like these soft, somber moments where he's like telling people like, hey, if you want to pursue this relationship with this girl, you need to be a man and you need to take chances and you need to, be confident in what you're doing in your actions. If you want to take care of somebody, you got to be strong. You might not be strong like me to be able to punch somebody with your fist, but you could be strong in other ways. You have like these somber, soft, beautiful moments from this dude who's literally like a brick shit house of a man. And it's like this weird, like testosterone laden, like kindness and empathy that Kiryu has as a character that gives him so much depth. And he's one of my favorite video game characters. And that's why I love the Yakuza series. Like, one hand, incredibly dense, serious crime drama, but also goofy, heartwarming, like beautiful moments between like these side stories and different characters and things. And that's what I feel like we're getting with Windbreakers as well. Where it's like, yeah, the fights are cool. Yes, the animation is beautiful. Yes, all the characters are fun and they have like really funny moments, but there's a lot of depth in their character growth and their relationships to each other and how those relationships grow and how they all take care of each other. Where one person is weak, like the book guy that knows all like everybody's name and their fight style, everything like that. Like he can't fight, but he has his role to play in the game.
Yeah, he's sitting in this little safe zone.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just like they all look out for each other, and even if they don't know the way or they don't realize it, they're all brothers in arms, and they're together to make sure that the city stays safe. And I love that, like, I love that version of masculinity. You know what I mean? And I wish we would get more of that empathy being shown in media and also just online in general. I think Windbreakers is, it's not Frieren levels, not Fullmetal Alchemist levels, but for what season, the season and the first 2 episodes or whatever, Windbreaker is really good, and I would highly, highly, highly recommend watching it if you are down for that kind of stuff. Windbreakers is great, dude. I love it so much, and it was nice because it was a surprise. I did not think I was going to care at all about the show,
and
it became one of my
came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
literally booted it up because the thumbnail looked like it came from Tokyo Revengers, and I was like, oh, okay, we'll watch that again. Because I was like, Tokyo Revengers came back, like season 1 was all right, and season 2 was like, I didn't even know it came out, and then everyone was like, nah, this just sucks. I was like, oh. So I was like, maybe this one's better. There was another one that I kept getting it confused with, Tokyo Ravens. That one was actually good. It had nothing to do with like gang wars or anything. Tokyo Ravens though was like, it felt special. It wasn't like fantastic. It wasn't like phenomenal, but it kind of did like the weird wrap up in season 1 because I don't think they were ever greenlit for a season 2, so they just kind of finished. But it's such a shame because it started off. The first season was really good. Tokyo Ravens was like it was kind of like a hidden gem, kind of like a one-off. I think the main reason I just remember it all the time is because so many things have similar names. And I'm like, this is that one, and I'm like, oh wait, no, it's not. But those characters were like way better than Tokyo Revengers. Tokyo Revengers, I didn't like them. I know a lot of people shit on it, but like I personally didn't like any of the characters really.
The thing that sucks is that with Tokyo Revengers, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was like, dude, Tokyo Revengers, oh my god, you gotta watch it. And I saw them, and I just like saw all these like Japanese kids with like tribal tattoos, and I was like, whatever, I watch it.
Yeah, and then like, it was like extra weird because they were not even like in high school; they were middle schoolers. I was like,
okay.
I was like, this is super weird.
Okay, I was checking it out because I was like, I never watched Tokyo Ravens. I was looking at the art style, and I was like, it reminded me of something. The
Twin Star Exorcist.
For Tokyo. No, but it kind of does. But no, he also did Black Blood Brothers, which is another anime that I watched.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, that's a classic. That's a classic anime on my list. But anyway, but yeah, no, like there were 2 anime that were like that for me, right? Tokyo Revengers, I was like, dude, a lot of people talking about this. There's a lot of hype behind it. You know what? I'm gonna sit down and watch it.
Let me check it out. Right before, this
sucks. Exactly, right before I was about to start watching, people were just like, oh, it sucks. It was Tokyo Revengers, and then there's another anime. What anime do you think it is? I think we might talk about it on podcast before.
Give me a hint.
Robots.
We just had an episode where I didn't watch any robots.
Oh, but it was a big robot show that everybody's talking about.
You're not talking about Darling in the Franxx, are you?
Darling in the Franxx. Everybody, when Darling in the Franxx dropped, told me how great it was. And I was kind of just like not watching it.
Everybody said the whole thing was great except the last episode.
Yeah, like all I saw of Darling Franxx was like, oh, they pilot the robots with the girls' butts. And I was like, what? And I was just like, all right, whatever. I'll get to it whenever. And then it literally had like the reverse Demon Slayer moment. Like, there's a lot of people who were like, oh, Demon Slayer wasn't that great until episode 19 where he's fighting the spider dude. And I'm just like, that's a lie. Demon Slayer is awesome. I love it. And I really enjoyed it. But then Darling and Franxx is like, oh, this show's so good until this last episode. And it just ruins the entire show. And I was just like, what happens? I'm morbidly curious.
I almost wanted to watch through Darling and the Franxx just to find out what happened in that last episode, because the absolute backlash from 24 to 25 was crazy. I still, to this day, don't know what happened. But I'm like,
Same.
I can't imagine something like falling apart like that. And oh man, like I'm not gonna fall for it though. I don't have time to fall for that. So
True.
but at the same time, it's like the curiosity kind of reaches me. It's like
I know it's just the back
for
of my
how
brain.
good it was. How do you fumble the end like that? Whatever it was.
Every single week, everyone would talk about Darlin and the Franks and how good it was, and they loved the character of 02 or whatever her name was. They're like, "Oh my gosh, she was like the waifu of the season." And then everybody just did a complete 180 and just trashed
Top
the show.
10 anime betrayals, but it was the fandom all along.
Dude, it was so like it was. I don't think I've trying to think. I don't think I've ever seen like such a visceral backlash to a show's ending in anime.
There was one that everybody hated, but the ending itself was not like necessarily bad. In Logon.
See, okay,
that
so
I don't even see me. No, that shit sucked.
No.
No, it's not fair. She deserved better than that.
No, I agree wholeheartedly.
The ending wasn't bad, but it's like everybody like turned on it because it was like, no, that's bullshit.
Like, no, I actually 100% agree. I love Gurren Lagann so much. Rao Rao, fight the power. But yeah, that ended like left a sour taste in my mouth. And then my boy Simone just becomes a fucking wanderer, all dirty and shit. He's like, "Hey kid, you want to go to space?" And I'm just like, why don't he deserve to be happy? Why does everyone Yoko love die in a tragic way?
It's not even like he got a like. Why doesn't he deserve to be happy? Like they gave it to him. They're like, here's what happiness tastes like. Let's take that out. And you're like, oh, you're such a dick.
Just like, I was watching because again, the reason why I don't feel like I really felt this as much as like Darlin and Franks is because it was like really before the internet, like before I was like really online. You know what I mean? Like. I think at the time, YouTube existed, but I wasn't like really a part of like any online fandoms for anime. But then I watched it and I finished it and I was just like, oh, like I was upset. I was just pissed. And me and my friends would like talk about it, but I still love Gurren Lagann. But yeah, I wonder like how the online, like I don't know if there are any forums. Maybe we can do like the Wayback Machine or something like that. But like I wonder how people like took it back in the day, because again, it was just me and my friends. We were like, "Oh, we loved it. The fights were sick. The drill that pierced through the heavens, like, it's awesome." But then at the end, it was just like this bittersweet, not even really bittersweet, just a bitter taste in my mouth. I'm just like, "Yo, why the fuck?" They're like, "Oh, you killed all the people. They made it exist. So just poof." And I'm just like, "What is this? Why did you kick me in the balls in the last episode?"
I was like, "This is bullshit. I don't even know what's happening, but it's wrong."
I was so mad after everything all the characters went through. And then like
what was like the biggest anime fumble?
The biggest anime fumble, oh my god. Because again, it's funny. This isn't an anime, but got the same thing. Like it's kind of fucked up that this happened twice. Like if I had a nickel for every time this happened at the end of a show that I like, I had two
count
nickels.
The Promised Neverland as one, but I don't. it's like different though, because that one was like. It didn't do anything like bad necessarily. It was just like they literally skipped everything, so it was the absence of the thing that made it bad.
I mean, the thing that was bad is that they ruined any interest in that show whatsoever. Because like the second season was so bad. The first season was so hype. They loved Promised Neverland. I was so excited to see more about the world and the characters and what was going on. Me and my girlfriend like watched the show together because she loves horror stuff. I was like so down, get a Emma tattoo on my spine.
Dude, I was
feeling
what I mean? It after the opening for season 1, and then season 1's like it was like the 3rd episode or something where they like showed the moment.
The moment.
I was like,
this show is crazy.
And then I was like, they hit you with that shock factor, and then they never came back with it again. They they almost had it a couple times. They had you at the edge of the seat when they were doing like the game of tag with the maid. But after they got out, then it was like this shit sucks.
Promised Neverland's a good show that I ignored. Krona's fucking. I was like, why they draw her like that? Or she just had like the big old eyes, big old lips, and you're like, I was like, oh my god.
They had to make her. They had to make her like a little weird, I guess.
Dude, what the fuck? But anyway, Promised Neverland, dude, I will always hold season 1 in my heart as like this was good. And
there
I
was
just
no
like
season 2 in Bossing.
the MIB, the Men in Black fucking neuralizer on season 2, dude. Because I went into season so excited, and then I was like seeing where they were gonna go, and then they just completely fumbled it. And then people who read the manga was just like, yeah, the manga doesn't end well either. And I'm just like, I have nothing. I just won't care
You
about this
started
anymore.
off
I
strong,
guess
you fumbled it. I didn't know that the
that
manga didn't
sucks.
end well either. At the time, it wasn't
Apparently,
even done yet. I knew that they just
yeah.
they had some really cool things like the dragon on the crystal lake, but I thought that their story was either ongoing or ended fine. I didn't know the ending. First of all, is it actually even over?
Yeah, Promise Neverland is done.
Oh, I believe it. They probably were just like, yeah, I saw the anime.
Sucks, man, because I bought like 10 volumes of the manga, I think. Like 6 or 7 of them, I think. My girlfriend, she was like, I want to read it. And I was like, hey, let's go to Barnes & Noble and buy it. And then we watched season 2, and those books have just sat on the bookshelf. Oh, what a sad day. But yeah. Oh, yeah. And the other thing I was going to say that was like Gurren Lagann that ended was Samurai Jack. Because we got that 5th season of Samurai Jack, and it kind of did the exact same thing at the end with Jack and Sashi.
That was dumb. After, like, man, don't bring Samurai Jack after, like, 20 years. Bring it back for half a season and then leave us with that. What the fuck?
Dude, I was so mad. I was so mad. That I was glad that we got a finality to the story. But dude, why?
Would it have really killed you to just like let the lady live?
Yeah, like just let Jack be happy. He went through hell. He was immortal for 50 years, like in this future hellscape where everything was trying to kill him. And he just like lost himself. And dude, Samurai Jack is so sick, dude. But yeah, they did the same thing as Gurren Lagann. They're just like, oh, snatch away your happiness, you little idiot. As you get for being a hero.
They did it in the same
like,
way too. They made the girl just dissolve away. Ridiculous.
Yeah. You're also pissed. But anyway, but yeah, that's I don't know. Okay, so how do you feel about this, right? When you get a show like that, like you get a moment at the end of the show that, you know, it does feel like kind of like a kick to the gut, but you remember it. Like I will always remember the end of the Gurren Lagann. I do think it's a good or worthwhile story trope to do something like that where it's just like you get the happy ending, but you don't. Or would you just like the happy ending? I'm fine with the happy ending. I know a lot of people will say like, "Oh, that's cliche and boring." I generally
prefer the happy ending. Not every story has to end like that.
Yeah.
But like, if you're going to give me a bittersweet ending, you have to give me a purpose for it. You can't just be like, "Oh, you defeated the big bad, and they were loosely related to the big bad, so they're gone now." Haha. Or they're going out on a mission never to be seen again. Like, removing them for like no real purpose is bad taste. I feel like having Nia devolve or dissolve into fucking space. Like, yeah, she was anti-spiral, but like she was gone long enough. You could just be like, yeah, no, she generated enough Earth particles to stay alive or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like why the fuck?
Like
it's
not like she's coming into the next season. Like the anti-spirals show up or something. Like, it's fine. You could have just left her alive.
Yeah, it's like just spin her the other way, and then she'll be good. But then again, okay, wait, what is the anime that you talked about, or the main character like he had like lost himself at the end, and like the girl was taking care of him, and he had like forgot everything at the end of his journey?
Charlotte.
Yeah, and
Charlotte
you were like,
had like one of the most like bittersweet endings ever, but it was done so well that was a fine one. I wish that the story would keep going, but there is no story to keep going. That they they set a goal, they did the goal, there was consequences for the adventure. They are living with those consequences. It is sad, but it showed the like personality of the characters involved, and it kind of made you like everybody a little bit more, even though the ending was sad. Yeah, like that. It's not very often that it happens like that, where it's like, yeah, it's pretty bittersweet, but I would prefer it this way. If he had just like magically got all of his memories back, it would have been kind of weird. Yeah. So I think as long as it fits within the like reasoning of the story, and there's no like good reason to take it away, then you can have the bittersweet ending. It's fine. But yeah, don't just like give me the happy ending for the happy ending's sake. Give me the bittersweet ending if it makes sense. Like, like I was saying, Gurren Lagann, there was no like thematically, I guess it makes sense that she dissolves because she was anti-spiral and then they killed all the anti-spirals, but she was like her own person. You could easily just be like, yeah, no, the race is gone except for you because you weren't like them. You became your own person. You got separated from the anti-spiral, so you live. Some people would be like, oh, that's such a cop-out, but man, fuck you.
Yeah.
Neil's cool. She didn't deserve that.
Yeah, what the fuck? But yeah, so you at home can let us know what your favorite anime ending is. Do you like a happy-go-lucky, sunshiny, happy ending? Or do you like to see your main characters go through trials and tribulations, torn asunder, and end miserable and terrible? Is one of the things that I battle with right now as a Berserk fan, because I feel like there's no good ending for my boy Gus. But, you know, we shall see, maybe. Yeah, let us know in the comments below. You can also hit that like button if you're on YouTube. Hit that subscribe and keep up to date with every new episode of the DNAnime podcast. Whenever it comes out on Sunday. You guys listen to us in the audio realm. You can give us a review. Give us a rating. Let us know how the podcast is doing. It really does help us. All of this stuff. Liking, subscribing, sharing it with your friends, and giving us a rating. It all helps us out to reach more anime fans to talk about this stuff together and build a little anime community over here with the DNAnime crew. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this podcast. We will be back next week with episode 52. It'll be a whole year. We got some fun stuff planned. It'll be a podcast extravaganza. And I hope to see you guys there. But this has been Beautiful Crow. That is Vic Seal. And we'll see you guys next one.
Bye.
Bye.